I was thinking, I've never met a person who became famous at 14 who came out of it okay. I've yet to. I heard Jodie Foster's cool. I've never met anybody that became famous very young.
I read every interview she does for exactly that reason. It's so difficult. I tell parents all the time, like, children acting is a wonderful thing. Put them in the school play. It's so good for them. Get them singing lessons. It's so good for them. Sing in the church choir. It's so good for them. But to be a professional actor at a young age is it's dangerous in extremely insidious ways that are very, very hard to perceive when it's happening.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, I think it completely impedes your developmental process. And the way I liken it to is like concrete. When you make concrete, there's a bunch of very specific ingredients. You put them with very specific mixture. Like you have to have this amount of water, that amount of sand, this amount of rocks, all the. If it's off, it's never fixed. You can't add water after it's cured. It's done. It's fucked forever. This is bad concrete now. And this is what happens to a lot of young human beings that become famous, whether it's through acting or singing.
Yeah, and it's not just fame. That analogy works for all walks of life, really. You know, if you have a really, something really traumatic happens in childhood, it's very hard to recover. It's a tremendous amount of work to recover. And I agree with you. Like, I think celebrity is like, it's like a tiny drop of mercury, or it's poison. It's poison for your brain. Now, if you're mature, you can handle it. And if you get it in slow, like I got it in slow increments. Dead Poets Society happened. I had a little taste of fame, but I wasn't. Nobody knew my name.
You could go to restaurants.
Yeah, I was that kid from Dead Poets Society. Oh, look at him. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I got it in slow. I got to develop, what do you call it, when you get a little bit of poison, like a...
resistance.
Yeah, resistance to it. And it came so slowly for me. I even think about people. I remember the weekend Pretty Woman came out. 2 days before, no one had ever heard of Julia Roberts. 2 days afterwards, she's the most famous woman in America. I think that's a huge thing to absorb. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. And I know that my personality couldn't have handled it. I've worked hard to handle it as poorly or wellly as I have, you know?
Yeah. I think you going back to school and living a normal life for, 5-6 years or whatever it was before you left college, I just think that's critical. That's the developmental process of the normal maturation of a person when they go through adolescence, teenage years, into college, young adult. Then you can kind of handle things. And then maybe you're also fortunate that, like you said, Dead Poets Society, you didn't get too huge from it. You just got some juice. A little bit of juice.
A little bit of confidence.
Yeah.
That was a nice, it's like...
Something's happening.
Something's happening, but then I had the years after that, though, I have to give a shout out to my mom, who was just so devastated that I dropped out of college. I mean, she just couldn't stop crying about it, And it filled me with desire to show her that I was taking responsibility for my own education, which is what I said I would do. And so I started a theater company, and I worked really hard at a lot of different things, writing and reading and thinking, and mostly with this theater company, where I met a lot of young people who were interested in what I was doing, but we weren't paid any money, and we worked our asses off, and we built sets, and it was fun. I don't want to lie. We had a great time. But it was a college experience that I gave myself through this theater company. And that changed me, because I met a lot of people who were really excellent at what I do that weren't making a lot of money. I met a lot of people who loved it as much as I do, who weren't getting their picture taken, who weren't being told they were special. I knew how gifted they were. I could understand. I had a little bit of balance and a little bit of humility to go along with the superficial elements of my chosen field.